Let's see if I can squeeze up a bit. There we go. This really does make sense. I can understand it. Look at it. I'm in EV mode. This is incredible. Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. My name's Richard. Fortune favours the brave. And Kawasaki have come up with this machine, the latest hybrid, the only hybrid motorcycle on the road, other than the Piaggio, which is a tricycle, 2 wheels at the front. But this is the only motorcycle on the road that's a hybrid. So they've really pushed the boat out. Kawasaki Research and Development have really pushed the boat out on this particular machine. Let's get straight into the riding. Okay, so here we are at Potteries Motorcycles and Scooters in Burslem in Staffordshire. So we're here with the Ninja 7, the HEV, which is a hybrid machine. It's got a 450cc engine that's out of like the Kawasaki Eliminator. This engine produces 58 horsepower, whereas the Eliminator produces 51. I think it produces about 40 newton meters of torque in the combustion engine. Associated to that is an electric motor. The electric motor is connected to a battery that's under the seat that powers a 48 volt battery that powers the motor, and it's producing in total with the electric motor about 69 or 70 horsepower, and that's when it's on the boost, which is this button here, e-boost. Let's go and take it out for a ride and see what happens. Oh, don't forget, there's the river sign, which is important to Kawasaki machines. Okie dokie. Side stand up. No clutch. No gear lever. There we go. Good times. It's currently in sport mode and it's telling me to start it. And it's started. We've got the paddles here. We've got one here for up box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And down box. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're currently in sport mode. Let's go for a quick ride. I've just put it into first gear. This is going to be interesting. This will be interesting. Weighing in at about 225 kilos. So she's not particularly light, but she doesn't feel heavy. She doesn't feel heavy at all. I'm quite surprised at that. Into second gear, not a problem. So I'm now stood still, back down into first gear. So this is all manual. At this moment in time I can change it to automatic here. And we can go into the EV mode, which runs off the battery by pressing here. We've got the walk mode, so it goes in reverse, so you can reverse it uphill. So that's good. Sport and eco mode. Let's see what she's like. First impressions. While she is quite heavy, at 225, which is about the same weight as my Triumph Bonneville T120, she feels well planted well planted. Here we go, let's stop here. So she stayed in fourth, let's just change the gears up. There we go, now in first and ready to set off. She feels really well planted. Let's take a left here. Yeah, this feels good. Yeah, like the 500s, the typical 500s from Kawasaki and Honda and all that are very light. Well, this is a bit more heavier with the battery. The ergonomics of the bike feel good. They feel really good. So with the light bikes, you know, sometimes they feel a bit twitchy on the road, but this feels really well planted at this speed in the city. Yeah, the mirrors are good. It feels quite comfortable actually. It feels very comfortable. And why would it not? Yeah, now in fifth gear. Just plodding along. Using the 450cc engine. Oops, wrong one. Let's go down the gearbox. Just getting my hands used to where everything is. I keep on reaching for a clutch and it's not there. It's interesting sitting in the traffic. I'm just rolling the throttle on, and it's just like an automatic bike. It's great. Or a semi-automatic bike. Sort of flashing at me when I should be changing gear. That's interesting. It's telling me when I should be changing gear. So, which is at about 4,500 RPM, maybe a bit lower actually. Yeah, about 3,000. So it's trying to be, although it's in sport mode, it's trying to inform me to change gear to keep the economy high. So that's interesting. That is interesting. Let's take her. There we are, down into second. Into first, and we're off. Oh yeah, she's going well. Oh, that was a big bump. So now in 6th gear, 47 mile an hour. Yeah, she's good, very comfortable, very planted. So the beauty about this machine is you don't get the range anxiety that you might well get with an electric vehicle, be that a car or a motorbike, because you can always put fuel in it, and that's a great thing. You can Bluetooth, more importantly, you can Bluetooth your phone, your smartphone to the machine and download the application from Kawasaki, which then allows you to configure certain parameters associated to the bike. The details of that I'm not sure, but you can certainly do that. So currently doing 73 miles an hour down the motorway at the moment in time while It's raining, and it feels absolutely wonderful. It's not skitty, it's well planted. It feels like a bigger bike than a 450cc. So that is really cool. So one could question, can I do long distances on this? Well, I guess you can. I guess you can, yes. Because you don't have that issue where you're constantly hunting for charging points. This is a hybrid, and whilst the engine is running, it's charging up the 48 volt battery, which does the electric ride. When you are on full EV mode, the range is somewhere between 5 and 10 miles. So if you're on the edge of the city and going into work, you could use the engine, the internal combustion engine, to get where you need to be, and when you're on your last few miles, then you go electric. Because when you're going through the city, as we all know, when you go through the city, your average speed is going to be something like 17 miles per hour. So you can always go on the electric stuff, which is great. So I'm here doing 70 miles an hour, absolutely no problems. There's no buzzing, there's no nothing. The bike is very, very, very comfortable, and it's very, very smooth. It feels absolutely great, actually. So if you're commuting into the city, this may be a really good alternative. Currently available from Potteries Motorcycles and Scooters, Burslem, Staffordshire, for £11,000 on the road, or thereabouts. The Potteries can deliver to UK mainland, no problem. So this offer of £11,000, I believe, is available until March, end of March. The usual price is, I believe, £12,500. I may stand corrected on that, but currently in the offer it's available for £11,000 delivered to your door. So that is really cool. Okie dokie dokie. Okay, so we're now in eco mode. And we're on automatic transmission. So I can turn that on or off. Now it's off. I can turn it back on. So now it's automatic automatic gearbox using the engine and the battery. Okay, so I'm going to roll off, and it's using the battery to roll me off. Yes. And then the engine's kicked in into third, fourth, fifth, and then sixth. Now, because you're in eco mode, the machine is expecting you to be reasonably economical with the throttle. I think that's fairly logical, yeah? So I've noticed on other videos where they've said that the gearbox change is a bit of a jolt, and I understand that. I've just tried it now, so let me just pull up here again. And we're going to open up the throttle, and then you will feel the jolt. Then you will feel the jolt on the gear changes. But I think as I've just tested it now, if you're easy on the throttle, it just goes through quite smoothly. So let's do it with a bit more vigour. Moving off. Engine starts. There we are. Yep. Yep. Yep, it's a bit more jolty. There's a bit more of a jolt. Let's pull in. Let's pull in. Let's stop. Pretend we're stopping at traffic lights. But now what we're going to do is go off smoothly as if we are riding in an eco mode, and then you'll find the gearbox changes are much smoother. There we go. It's much smoother. So maybe you're in the city and riding around like this and you want to be in the eco mode. The gear changes are much smoother and they're absolutely fine. They are absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Right, let's test the fully electric on these little 40-mile-an-hour twisty roads. Right. I select and hold. Now I'm in EV mode. Okay. It says there, EV. I've got a full battery here. This is my fuel gauge, of which is just under a full tank, but regarding the battery, I've got full battery from that 48 volt 9 kilowatt battery. So let's move off and see what happens. I believe the top speed is about 40 mile an hour, maybe 45 mile an hour, but the range is about somewhere between 5 and 10 miles, depending on where you're riding. If you are riding in the city, I am assuming that you'll get 10 miles. Whereas if you're riding on the motorway, I'm assuming it will get pulled down quite sharply. Right, let's just wait for these cars to move on. And let's pull out. Remember, we're on EV, the electronic vehicle mode now. So it sets off fine. Goes through the gears. I believe there are 4 gears. So now I'm doing, what, 42? And it's absolutely wonderful. I mean, I would be using this mode if I was riding into Manchester. I've got 3 miles left to go and I'm in the city. Yeah, in the city traffic. And I would be using this mode to get, to do the last 3 miles to my office in Manchester. Had I had an office in Manchester, I'm using that as an example. So I'm doing 44 miles an hour. Here we are, 30. So this is great. There's no noise. There's no nothing. This is great. This is quite wonderful. This is brilliant. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, this is really interesting. This is really cutting edge stuff. Kawasaki have done a really good job of making what is in effect their first generation EV hybrid, and I think this is a really great first offering. I think it's really great. I'd have loved to have had the time to download the app and then play around with the parameters on the bike. Yeah. But I just haven't got time. This is fantastic. It's saying to me there, the range just there is 8.9 miles based on how I'm riding it. 9 miles now, it's going up based on how I'm riding it now. So this is perfect for your last few miles into work, where you're doing an average of, I don't know, 15 mile an hour because of all the traffic lights and all the traffic. This is a perfect perfect idea. And it's super quiet. It's fantastic. I hope you're enjoying this. This is I can only suggest, if you've got some time, go and test ride one of these, because they're absolutely great. Relatively, it's £11,000 is expensive, but this is the cutting edge thing. You know, let's understand it, the Renault Zoes and the Toyota Priuses were an absolute fortune in the beginning, and they still are relatively now, but you know, someone's got to make a move, and Kawasaki have made that move. Kawasaki always come up with the extremes, such as supercharging the bikes where no one else has done it, and they've done exactly the same here with this hybrid. Absolutely wonderful how they've done it. One could question, would it have been better off with a 250cc engine, or maybe a 600cc engine? Okay, national speed limit, let's open her up. Let's get her up to 40 mile an hour. There we are, the range is 8.7 miles now, and it's staying stable. Yep, 8.7 miles. So doing 40 mile an hour, I suspect will keep you going. Yeah, for 8 to 9 miles. Okay, to get it out of EV mode, we press the HEV button, and it takes us down to one of the options on the left hand side. So we can now go to Sport. We hold down, and the engine fires up. I can then select, can I select an automatic gearbox? No, I can't, but I guess that's one, he's wanting to use the manual. So I'll go to Eco. And I shall select automatic transmission. Right, let's go. It sets off with the electric motor, and then the ICE engine comes in. There we go. Yeah, this is great. So now I can change from automatic to manual gearbox. And then have no problems doing that within the eco mode. So I can have a manual gearbox in the eco mode, or an automatic gearbox in the eco mode. I'm now in sport, so I've changed it to the sport mode, where I can then manually change the gears. Yep, that's great. This is great stuff. This is really interesting technology. Okay, let's look at this e-boost. Let's have a look at this e-boost. Right, so we're in sport. We're on ALPF, which brings it down the gearbox as you slow down. but you still have to use the toggles. What I do is I hold on the e-boost button and this panel comes up, and I believe it's for 5 seconds. It's maybe adjustable within the app on your mobile phone when you're connected via Bluetooth, but you know, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set off when I've got a clear spot, yeah, and we're going to see what she's like, yeah, on this e-boost. There's plenty of room to overtake me. Right, here we go, we're ready. Let that car go. Here we go. E-boost. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, that goes. That really does go. So this bike really does give you the option of having a cracking time from the traffic lights. This really does go. You know, the 70 horsepower certainly shines through. It really does. It's an interesting way of doing it. It's quite a fantastic, fascinating machine. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. It is quite wonderful. Let's clear the lens. This is really interesting, and you should go out and test ride one. Once you get used to the buttons and the capability of the bike, it's quite amazing. It is quite amazing. Let's clear the lens. This is really interesting, and you should go out and test ride one. Once you get used to the buttons and the capability of the bike, it's quite amazing. It is quite amazing. There we are, into neutral. It really is quite amazing. It just shows you that there may well be a new future to motorcycling when it comes to how the machine is powered. You've got the Zero that's fully electric and everybody gets range anxiety. And then you've got something like this where you don't have that issue. There's no range anxiety. You just fill it up with petrol. I mean, with a combination of the battery and the ICE engine, you know, it seems to work. I'm no specialist in EV technology, but having played about with this, I can understand why the Toyota Prius is so popular. I really can. I really can understand it. Absolutely fascinating. Absolutely unbelievable. And it's easy to get used to the paddles here with your gear changing. That's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. It really is fascinating. My goodness. I wish I could take this out for longer. That's what I'm now thinking, so I can better understand the machine. Unbelievable. And of course it's got the walk thing where you can on the battery it walks you forwards and backwards. I'm not going to show you that. You don't need to be shown that. This is really fascinating. So I'm now in eco mode. I've just changed it to eco mode. I'm waiting for this traffic to stop. And I'm on automatic transmission. So in the town, this is what you want. Eco mode in automatic transmission. This is exactly what you want. Yeah? This is the kind of thing. And in fact, there we are. We'll go on EV mode. We're in the traffic. So just stay on the battery. Let's not waste petrol. This is exactly what the EV side of it is for. It makes sense. It does make sense. It really does make sense. Let's see if I can squeeze up a bit. There we go. This really does make sense. I can understand it. Look at it. I'm in EV mode. This is incredible. I'm not making a noise. This is fantastic. Fantastic. Unbelievable. It's stop-start technology. You know, I just don't use any fuel in this kind of environment. I'm just using the electric battery to take me through town. It makes sense. It really does make sense. If you're riding a motorbike every day to work and back, look at that buffoon. This really does make sense. This is super smart. My goodness. This is great. I can go faster, but it's a 30-mile-an-hour limit, so I'm going to do 30. This is great. It's not until you ride it and realise, actually, this sort of makes sense. Yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The handling on this bike is unbelievably good, as it would be. It's Kawasaki, it's got the Ninja name, it's got the river sign. Of course it's going to handle well. Yeah. It's great. I better slow down a bit. This is great. This is great. Don't even wake the babies up. Here we go. This is, yeah, this makes sense. This really does make sense now. You've got to ride this. You've just got to come and ride one of these. I think there's a reality of making sense. Yeah, if you're just riding normally, the reality is this could really, really do all of the work that you'd want. You know, we're all doing town work, and this is more than enough for town work. This is really interesting stuff. This is great. It makes sense. You've got to ride it for it to make sense, if you understand what I mean. Yep, this really makes sense. This is great. I'm really enjoying this. I am really enjoying this. Now we're coming up to the end of the fuel tank for the electric battery. I am wondering if it will start up the engine. I'm sure it will. Don't know what's happening here. Let's go round here. Let's go round here. Here we go. Here we go. There's a lot of traffic. But while I'm in this traffic, I can just use the electric motor. Absolutely wonderful machine. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah. The more I ride it, the more I understand it. I can do 90 miles an hour on this bike and have a great time on my way down to the Alps and just keep on putting fuel in it. But when I come to the towns, I can shut the engine down and just use the battery for a few miles. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. This is certainly a future from Kawasaki. It's certainly a future. Now the battery's flashing at me to say it's about to run out. I'd like to know what happens when it runs out. There's plenty of petrol in it, so I'm wondering if it's going to throw in the engine and put it in eco mode automatically. I've no idea. This is easy riding, easy riding. This is the... Oh my goodness. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to bring it to an end. I'm going to bring it to an end as I go back to the Potteries Motorcycles and Scooters Centre in Burslem, Staffordshire. Oh, it's put me in tortoise mode. Right, it's put me in tortoise mode, so it's starting to warn me, yeah, that I'm running out of battery. So let me just pull up here. And let's just see. Right, so it's just kicked in. Ah, it's just kicked in from EV over to sport mode. Yeah, because the battery that drives the EV mode is depleted. Right, okay, I understand it. I understand it. I understand it, yeah. Right, back into eco mode. Yeah. Yeah, let's stay in sport. Right, okay. Right, hang on. Let's put it into neutral, back into eco mode. Will it go into eco mode? Maybe it's because it's depleted in the battery. It needs to stay in sport mode to charge up the battery again. Right, I understand. Here we go. So I'm bringing it to an end. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've learned something. I do suggest that you go to your local Kawasaki dealer and have a play on one of these, because it's incredibly interesting. Incredibly. It really is. It's been absolutely wonderful to ride this. It's a great experience. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Ride safely. Be kind to everyone and eat healthily. And get in touch with Potteries Motorcycles and Scooter Centre in Burslem, Staffordshire. You can find their telephone number on Google. Order one of these for £11,000. £11,000. Delivered to your door, UK mainland. There we go. See you soon. Bye bye.